My goal was to make $100 a month selling digital products on Etsy, but I ended up making way more than that. Since then, we've been able to pay off our car, make extra payments on our credit card debt, join a homeschool co-op, and take more family vacations. If you've ever thought, I wish there was a way that I could make money from home while my kids were sleeping, where I don't have to sell to my friends and family, I don't have to be on the phone or have set work hours, and I don't have to post on social media, then keep watching because I'm about to break down exactly what worked for me. In 2022, I was a stay-at-home mom with a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. I quit my job as a registered nurse to stay home with my kids, and even though we had saved before I quit, we were still spending more every single month than we were bringing in. I made the hard decision to start looking for jobs and to put my kids in daycare. But it ended up being not as easy as I thought it would be. I called around to some daycares and they had an 18-month minimum wait list. Some even had a 24-month wait list. And to top it off, paying for daycare for 2 kids would have cost more than our mortgage. When we sat down and did the math, we figured out that I would be working just to pay for daycare, and once you added in car maintenance, gas, all of that, we would have actually been losing money. So that's when I started looking for ways to make money from home that didn't require childcare. First, I looked into jobs I could do from home with my nursing degree, but most of them either required me to be on the phone or they had set work hours. And neither of those was an option for me as a stay-at-home mom without childcare. I also knew I didn't want to do any MLM or direct sales, those pyramid schemes. I knew I didn't want to do anything with that. So one day I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this video of this mom who said she was making thousands of dollars selling digital products online. She was also a stay-at-home mom, and she went into detail about how she created the product once and she just sells it over and over and over again. She was using social media to make sales, but I knew that I didn't want to use social media because after I had my second daughter, I had gained over 30 pounds and I wasn't comfortable enough with my body and my self-image to be on social media. And so I knew that I wanted to sell digital products. I just didn't want to sell them via social media. That's when I went down the rabbit hole of how can I sell digital products and make thousands of dollars without posting on social media. A few videos later, I saw someone talking about selling digital products on Etsy. No social media was required because they already had a built-in audience. So I knew this was the perfect option for me. But then my next question was, what do I sell? I kept scrolling through TikTok and then I just stumbled upon this girl who was talking about her cleaning checklist and that you could buy it at the link in her bio. I had no intentions of buying it, but I wanted to just go see what it looked like. So I clicked her link in bio and it took me to her Etsy shop. And on her Etsy shop, I saw the cleaning checklist and I instantly knew that I could make a better version of that. Hers was a bestseller and I was like, if she is selling that and my version will be much better, I know I can make a lot of sales with mine. And so that's exactly what I did. I created my cleaning checklist. It did take me a few weeks. I created mine from scratch, which I tell my students to not create your products from scratch since there are so many resources now where you can get done for you digital products and it will save you so much time. My product took me a few weeks to create all by myself, no graphic design skills. I added my cleaning checklist to Etsy on September 24th, 2022, and I'm going to share my screen and show you the sales that I made. So we are going to look at September 24th, 2022 because that's when I listed my product through September 30th. So I was only on here for a few months in September and let's see how much I made. A whopping $0. So the first few days on Etsy, I had 34 visits, which I'm happy about that. But I made 0 sales. And in September, I had my cleaning checklist and I added 1 more product. So in those few days, I had 2 digital products in my Etsy shop. And at this point, I could have got discouraged and said this doesn't work and moved on with my life. But I just kept the product on there because what the heck, I had already put in all of that work. So I kept it on there and let's see what happened in October, which would have been my first full month on Etsy. So now let's look from October 1st of 2022 through October 31st of 2022. And this would have been my first full month selling digital products on Etsy. So you can see in this month, I ended up making $315 and I'll click over here so you could see. So I made a sale on October 3rd. So I listed my product on September 24th and I made my first sale on October 3rd. And so you can see here just how the sales went. I would have a couple of days where I'd make sales and then 0, then make sales and then 0. And so that's how it went until the end of October. So it really started picking up around October 16th was my last $0 day of October. I made sales every day throughout the end of October, with $51 on October 30th being my highest revenue day. And so what people don't tell you, revenue is just your overall amount. That doesn't account for the fees that Etsy takes out. So I did not get $315 deposited into my bank account. I'll hop over to another screen and show you how much I got deposited each month into my bank account so you can see. So my revenue was $315, but what I got deposited was $237.50. And you can see here a breakdown of, so I made $311 in sales and my fees were $63. And here are all of the fees that Etsy took out. And a lot of people complain about the fees, but I don't, because this is money that I made while I was playing with my kids. We were on play dates, we were out to eat while I was doing the laundry. I made these sales without having to do extra work after I listed the product. And so I don't mind the fees because that is Etsy promoting my products for me. They have built this amazing platform where I can live my life and still make money. And so the fees do not bother me at all. I got $237 deposited into my bank account as a stay-at-home mom while I lived my life. So I was so happy with this. Now let's go over into November, which would have been my second full month selling digital products on Etsy. So here we are from November 1st, 2022 through November 30th, 2022. This would have been my second full month selling digital products on Etsy. And in this month, I ended up with $1,318, and I'll show you again. So every single day in November, I made a sale, with November 28th being my highest sales day, which was $140.27. And I know a lot of people want to know if I paid for ads. No, I did not pay for ads. So this is just Etsy promoting the products for me. I didn't post on social media. I didn't pay for ads. And in November, I added 2 more digital products to my shop. So altogether, I had 4 digital products in my Etsy shop. So let's go over to the other screen so you can see how much of this $1,300 was deposited into my bank account. So here we are, November 2022, and I got deposited $1,032 of that $1,300 that I made. So you can see here my sales were $1,300 and they took out about $244 in fees. Again, I did not pay for ads. I did not post on social media. Etsy did all of the promoting for me, and I was able to make over $1,000 as a stay-at-home mom in the month of November with just 4 digital products in my Etsy shop. So now let's hop over to December to finish out the year of 2022, which would have been my third full month selling digital products on Etsy. So we have here December 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2022. And in this month, I ended up with $2,400. And if we go over to revenue, you can see here still again, every single day I made a sale, which like my lowest sales day was like $19. Yeah, $19 is my lowest sales day. My highest sales day being $200 in one day, which is insane. And in December, I added 3 more products to my Etsy shop. So altogether, I added 8 digital products to my Etsy shop within a 3-month period. So let me hop over to the other screen so you can see how much of this $2,400 was deposited into my bank account. So for December of 2022, I made $2,400 altogether, and $1,900 of that was deposited into my bank account. And I'll click the fees so you can see all of the fees that were taken out, which again, I don't mind the fees. I did nothing extra. This was the holidays. I was barely doing anything, and so I'm completely happy with having $1,900 deposited into my bank account without me paying for ads, without me posting on social media to make these sales, and I only worked while my kids were sleeping. And that is why I say Etsy is one of the best ways to make money online, especially if you are a busy mom or stay-at-home mom, a parent, you work a full-time job, whatever it is. If you have limited time but you still want to make money, Etsy is 100% the way to go. First, because there are no set hours. I prefer to work in the morning before my kids wake up, because that's when my brain is the sharpest, it's peaceful in the house, and I am able to get so much done before they get up, and it puts me in a better mood throughout the rest of the day because I did something for me. I didn't just wake up to chaos. I got to wake up when I wanted to, work on my Etsy shop, and then by the time they get up, I am more ready to focus on them because I've gotten most of my work done, if not all of my work done. The second reason that I love selling digital products on Etsy, and I think it is one of the best ways to make money online, is because you don't have to sell to your friends and family. To me, that is just really icky. Like, I don't want to have fake conversations with people just so I can sell them something. And I even get direct messages online from people who start out having a conversation and they're like, what have you guys been up to? Blah, blah, blah. And then they try to sell me something. And then I feel like the whole conversation was fake because I'm like, your whole purpose in talking to me was for me to buy something from you. And I didn't want to be that person. And so if you don't want to sell to your friends and family, this is the way to go because Etsy already has over 90 million buyers built into their platform. And so you don't have to bother selling to your friends and family. Etsy brings the buyers to you. And the third reason I love selling digital products on Etsy is because it's super flexible. As a busy mom, life gets hectic, kids get sick, I get sick, and no matter what happens, I'm still able to make money. Even my student Lauren, who's a busy mom as well, she was planning her kid's birthday party and had all of these things going on. That's just typical life things. And she still managed to make 8 sales in her Etsy shop in one morning without doing anything extra. And so, yeah, she had put in the work up front to get everything set up. But now that everything's set up, she's able to make sales without taking away time from her family. And so that's an amazing thing about Etsy is that you don't have to trade your time for money. You can work on your Etsy shop for just 1 hour that week and still make sales. And so it doesn't matter how much you work. Once you get your products up there and you get your products optimized, like I show you how to do in the sales sprint, you can make sales every single day without having to do anything extra. And I know what people think, this may sound too good to be true. I was skeptical too at first, and that's why I have this video right here where I am walking you through the 5-step process that I followed to make this amount of sales on Etsy, only working while my kids were sleeping. So watch this video next if you want a breakdown of how the process works so you can see if it's a good fit for you.